Experiencing a stroke can be very scary, debilitating and frustrating. So in this video, we'll look at what exercise you can do after you've left hospital to aid your recovery. Hi everyone and welcome to Exercise for Health. I'm Richard and today I'm going to provide exercise advice for anyone that has suffered a stroke. If you're new to this channel, we offer tips, advice and exercises each week to help you manage your health condition with physical activity. So go ahead and tap the subscribe button below and the bell icon if you want to be notified of when we upload a new video. A stroke or cerebral vascular accident is caused by a sudden lack of blood supply to an area of the brain, either by a clot or blockage known as an ischemic stroke, which accounts for about 85% of all strokes, or following a bleed in the brain known as a hemorrhagic stroke. Depending on the site and severity of the clot or bleed will dictate what impairments or long-term symptoms someone will suffer from. These impairments can range from affected balance or coordination, weakness on one side of the body, excessive tone or spasticity of certain muscles on one side, as well as cognitive changes such as affected speech, reduced short-term memory, and a slower speed of information processing. A common problem that seems to affect all stroke survivors is fatigue and increased tiredness. The body seems to be drained of energy much faster than before a stroke, and this is a common complaint for people trying to take up some form of exercise routine. As every stroke survivor will have different impairments and needs, it's important that the exercise program is tailored to suit them and that goals are set based on what they feel they would like to get out of it. Do they want to be able to walk again? Is it that they want to be able to use their affected arm for day-to-day activities? Or do they just want some form of energy or part of themselves back? This is something that they can discuss with a physiotherapist or specialist instructor before embarking on any exercise regime. If you've suffered a mini stroke or TIA, then I did a video on this last week, which you can check out by clicking the pop-out banner up here somewhere. However, I'm going to go through some common impairments following a stroke and give you some ideas of what exercises you might be able to do to be able to help. Not everyone will be able to do all these after a stroke, as it will depend on how bad you have suffered, and not all of them will be relevant to you, but this may help some people as part of their rehabilitation. The first one is foot drop. It's quite common for a stroke survivor to experience the toes dragging along the ground when bringing the foot through during walking, because the muscles of the lower leg fatigue quickly after walking for a period of time. It may be that you've been given an ankle foot orthotic or AFO, which passively lifts the foot back, dorsiflexing the ankle, or you may have a functional electrical stimulator that activates the muscles on demand while walking, lifting the foot back. These are both great aids and would be recommended for use when walking. However, it's worth trying to stimulate the muscles yourself, which you can do when you're sat at home. Start in a comfortable seated position so you can focus on the movement. Have your leg that you want to work extended slightly in front of you, but not straight and with the heel on the ground. Then focus on pulling the toes and the foot up and back towards you as much as you can, pivoting over the heel on the ground. At the same time as pulling the foot back, think of also pulling the little toe edge of your foot outwards, which will help target the muscles on the outside of the lower leg that can be difficult to activate after a stroke. Perform the exercise slowly in a controlled manner until you've done between 5 and 10 lifts of the foot. Try and do this exercise every day in the early stages after your stroke, but not just before you do any walking to avoid any additional fatigue. The next one is excessive tone or spasticity of the upper arm. This can cause flexion of the elbow, so it's always bent, and can also cause an internal rotation of the shoulder joint, leading to stiffness and joint instability. This can be exacerbated by increased stress, which causes further contraction of the muscles. Therefore, whenever possible, try to spend some time focusing on relaxation, either through breathing or meditation, as this can help reduce the tone even in the short term. However, it's also important to strengthen the opposing muscles in the arm, which might not be firing up as much as before the stroke. One exercise for this is the hammer fist. Rest the side of your fist of your affected arm in the palm of your opposite hand, and initially just support it in a relaxed state. Then when you feel ready, think about forcing the side of the fist down into the palm of your hand as though you were trying to straighten the elbow whilst lightly resisting the movement with your stronger arm. Push for about 2 to 4 seconds and then relax and start again. This will activate the tricep muscles on the back of your arm that will work against the excessive tone of the bicep muscles. See if you can manage this exercise 5 to 10 times and then relax again as before. Don't worry if you don't get any movement at all, because even a small activation of the muscle will be a good start, even if it's not enough to move the arm. The next one focuses on weakness of the hip on the affected side from the stroke. The impairment can affect walking as the hip doesn't feel as strong to hold your body weight on it, so you quickly distribute your weight to your strong leg and lose the confidence putting your weight through the foot. A common indicator is when seated, the knee drops outwards and you find it very difficult to bring the knee into the center line of the body. To fire up the muscles around the hip, sit close to the front of a chair, ideally a dining room chair if you have one that's a bit higher than an armchair, but I've placed some cushions under my bottom to lift me up higher here. Have your feet about hips width apart on the floor and focus on bringing your knee of your affected leg inwards towards the other knee, activating the muscles in the groin. Be careful not to just move your stronger leg, so keep that one still so you can focus on the weaker one. If you find you can get good movement with this, then try it with the feet together, allowing for greater movement, and see if you can get the knee of the weak leg to draw inwards to touch the other knee. As with the other exercises, see if you can do this slow and controlled for 5 to 10 repetitions, and like with the arm exercise, don't worry if you don't get much movement, and be aware that the stress of focusing on the exercise itself may be enough to tire you out. The final one I want to look at in this video is the difficulty in getting the knee to bend on the stroke affected side of the body. In many cases, I have seen the hamstring muscles on the back of the leg switch off after a stroke so that the quadriceps on the front of the thigh take over, causing an imbalance in the leg muscles, which then leads to a leg swing or hip hitch when walking because the knee won't bend as much. So to compensate for this, we can try to activate the hamstring muscles on the back of the leg. We start in the same way as we did with the first exercise, but this time with the foot on a floor that provides very little friction to allow the foot to slide along the floor. If you have a carpeted floor or rug, then it may be worth looking at some sliders that you can put under your foot to allow for an easier movement. Starting off with the leg straight, try to slide your foot towards you, keeping the heel in contact with the floor, bending the knee as much as possible, bringing the foot as close as you can to the chair. Then slowly return the leg back out straight in a controlled manner without letting the knee suddenly lock out. If required, you can hold the upper leg lifting it slightly to reduce the weight through the foot, therefore reducing the friction, which then reduces the resistance to the movement. Ideally, we want the motion of bending the knee to become as easy as straightening the knee. As with the other exercises, aim for about 5 to 10 controlled movements, and it is something that you can do every day if you don't feel too fatigued. It's worth noting at this point that the quality of your input is much more important than the quantity. And if you feel fatigued, then don't do the exercises, as this could be detrimental in the long run. Also ensure that you don't experience any additional or unusual pain when performing any exercise or movement. It may be that doing only 3 or 4 reps twice a week might be a start point if that's all you can manage, but hopefully over time your strength and endurance, both physically and mentally, will build up and you won't feel so tired. Balance is quite frequently an issue following a stroke, so make sure you have appropriate aids if needed, such as a frame or stick when you choose to do anything standing or when you go for a walk. Safety should be your priority with any exercise before identifying the effectiveness or feasibility of it. Some people may have problems with grip of their affected side hand, and I've guided many of my stroke clients to Active Hands. This is a small company in the UK that have designed these amazing aids that can help people with disabilities or impairments of the hand be able to carry out exercises as well as day-to-day activities, and it allows their affected hand to still be used functionally without the risk of losing their grip of an object. If you think Active Hands might help you with your impairment, then I'll leave a link to their website in the description below so you can see what aids they can offer to help you. Finally, if you get to the point where you feel you have the energy to do a structured workout at home, then I've already done a number of videos for people that have had a stroke on this channel. I'll leave a link at the end of this video to the playlist that includes 3 follow-along exercise videos that you can choose from of varying levels where you can work within your limitations to help you with your recovery from a stroke and help you get back to doing the day-to-day things that you enjoy. I hope you can take something away from this video today. If so, please give it a like by clicking the thumbs up button below to help this channel grow so more people can benefit from it. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to stay active, keep moving, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video today, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click here to subscribe to this channel or click here to watch a recent video. See you soon.